Hello everybody, welcome in. I'm Daniel, Chief Architect here at Rhea, and this video is all about security. We start with security, and sometimes I joke that Rhea AI is a security company that also offers AI. It helps to frame for our clients just how important security is. Why? Why is security so important here? Well, in the post-AI world, it will be possible for people to set forth AI agents that can hack into any system, and they'll continue to try until they get in. That is something that a hacker can now do. He can take himself, and instead of having to write code, he can replicate himself 100,000 times in a computer and just have it go after any company that's out there. While this may not be happening in mass right now, I can assure you that it will happen. And when it does, we want to be ready for that. So how do we get ready for that? Well, today we went through and had a 30-minute discussion amongst the team about all the different aspects of security that will be important and how we could communicate to our clients just how important security is here at this firm. As you probably heard me say before, I have a secret weapon. My father, a man with 10 patents in cybersecurity, will be looking at this and making sure that it is one of the most secure platforms in the world. That is key. What are some other things that we've done to make sure that security is top of mind? Well, unlike Google, who's chosen a data model in which all users are kind of using Gmail and they're using Google Drive and they're using this other product that they separate data out. And I don't want to pick on Google because I don't really know how it works underneath the hood, not truly. But I do know this, there have been data breaches for many years where we'll hear a story in the news and they'll say somebody stole 200 million credit cards. Well, how did they do that? How can somebody steal that many things that quickly? Usually the answer is that they commingled client data. They took client data and they commingled it. Well, I understand why the traditional SaaS company must do it this way. They're typically offering a product that only costs $5 or $10 a month, and so they've got to commingle data. That's a requirement. They may have role level security, but they're commingling none the same. And an IT person who works at that company might have super admin access. This is very common. If you're somebody who works in engineering or cybersecurity, you know how common that is, that someone is given this top level access. And if that person lives in their mom's basement and leaves the computer open, it is possible for somebody to hop in and grab everything or hack into their computer and grab everything. We wanted to make sure that that could never happen, so we engineered Rhea Platform to be pod systems, and that means each company gets their own private network. It is still in the cloud, but it is as secure as anything you'll ever see in the world. You get a pod, somebody else gets a pod, and somebody else gets a pod. Our pricing is quite a bit more expensive than our competitors because we are a premium product. We offer something that takes away 20, 30, 40% of the labor that each of your employees do through AI. That is the secret sauce that is Rhea Platform. I've done it in other videos, so I'll kind of skip over that and talk specifically about how we prove to our customers that we are the most secure system in the world. Let's take a look here at the Security Center, and you'll see here a dashboard that shows us a bunch of different aspects of security that we know we need to monitor. We'll see here things like multi-factor authentication adoption. Recently, Snowflake changed their rules to where this is no longer an opt-in, but an opt-out, and I think that was a really smart decision on their part. Password strength, security events, anything that maybe have critically come up. And then we can go over here to the events log and be able to see all those different things. We also have AI agents on the back end reading all of your logs and making sure that if any anomalies come up, they're letting us know as soon as possible. Multi-factor authentication. These are different users and who used it and who could be turned on and off. API key management, so that way anybody who has programmatic access to the platform can be managed through this interface. We also manage roles. So if you've got managers and employees that work for them and people that work underneath them, it's all managed through this system. And then, of course, we have security anomalies. Now, this is only the tip of the spear for what we can do in security. But what I find fascinating, of course, is that everything that you see here was built in 20 minutes. How did we do that? 20 minutes. Well, that's our secret sauce. We're able to build things faster than anybody in the world. We're quite confident in that. We've taken AI as far as it could go, and then we take it further every day. That is why I'm the chief architect, and I love my job. I get to push AI all the way to the end boundaries. Um, Just to be clear, this is a front-end only experience. So that means I work with a customer to make sure that they understand every single aspect of security, and if they have any questions, they can ask me directly. If it doesn't address all of their security needs, it's our opportunity to, during the MVP stage of this product, go back and change it until it works for every single person who's going to be using the platform. But it's not enough to have a security, you've also got to have certification. And so we can look here at HIPAA compliance, and this is where we set up PHI classification, distribution of protected health by type, compliance categories, and then we can come over here and take a look at the PHI detection and management. We can look at violations that may have occurred, any compliance controls that we've put in place to make sure that things are doing what they're supposed to do. Business associate agreements can be attached inside of here. And then, of course, data retention policies. So all of these things help us to make sure that we're not only following HIPAA, but exceeding it whenever possible. Now, anybody who's worked in healthcare knows it's a big risk to keep all this stuff. But we're so confident in our system that we want to be clear and concise about just how much HIPAA compliance we've sought. Okay. So moving on from that, SOC 2 is another type of compliance that you can achieve, and we intend to get there. It's much easier for us because of our pod architecture. If there's a nice wrapper around that client, then we don't have to prove any kind of commingling. We don't have to get into any situations where we do anything other than say, there's a lockbox around this, and then this is all the software that we've built to make sure that happens. This is controls for SOC 2 compliance. This is evidence right here that we've been tracking. That is a key component and feature of SOC 2. We have policies here. We have tasks right here related to SOC 2 compliance. And then, of course, we have audit exports. And so this front end provides an experience that shows the client just how committed we are to being SOC 2. GDPR is not something I personally want to get involved with, but I had them throw it up here. And by the way, the SOC 2, that took 15 minutes. GDPR took another 15 to be able to build all these things. Like I said, we have one of the most sophisticated AIs in the world. It helps us to build beautiful, beautiful things, and we're very proud of it. So personal data inventory, DSAR management, consent management, and breach management. These are all things that are necessary as part of GDPR compliance. One of the reasons I don't like to attack GDPR is because it's easier and better to go for a minimum viable product in a country that you live in. That's the United States for us. And then possibly branch out into Latin America if you want to take the risk. But stepping into the European stepping into the European waters is not something I'm prepared to do. And besides, they're typically anywhere from 12 to 18 months behind on product anyway. I think that's a general rule that some of us in product say. And so you're not losing anything by not reaching out to them in the first 12 months. Like, yes, there's some AI people that could come around and beat us to the punch, but I'd much rather nail it here and get it right here before we even have any kind of a whiff of going and needing to be GDPR compliant. Now, you've got to be GDPR compliant at a most base level, but at its core, we don't let our clients access the system outside of the country, and we don't let them live in there, that's for sure. And then we get into HITRUST, which is about health critical and high risk enterprises. We've got a dashboard for tracking all this. Again, this took about 15 minutes as well. Evidence, assessments, and crosswalk. Now, if it only took 15 minutes, then how are we going to actually implement all this stuff, right? Well, that's part of our secret sauce as well. We have a full backend engine and an AI agent network that works together in concert. They have managers, they have books they can read, and they effectively work together to be able to build the backend system and then ensure that it meets all the testing criteria. How do we test that the system is secure from outside the system? Well, one thing you do is you go hire your dad to take a look, and now he will be doing that. But you also can set up what we call a red team. A red team is kind of like a shadow hacker that exists outside of Rhea platform. So we got stuff inside AWS. We set up a team outside, and we set up those hackers. The same ones I was telling you about that are going to come, 100,000 at a time. We set our own up. And without telling anybody at this company, it's like a secret shopper. It tries to get into various things and bust our security. If it's able to slip through the cracks, we know we missed something. And so I can't think of a more robust way to check your security than to have a log of everything the red team tried to do to get in. These AI hackers that you own, which by the way is product that we intend to sell as well. If you need an AI hacker, we'll put one to task to test your system, stress test it. But in any case, I'm a big fan of using this red team approach because it takes an outside perspective sometimes to tell you what you're not doing right on the inside. If you have any questions at all about how serious we are about security, I want you to, put a comment down below. And if you're wondering how we build software so darn quick, you can ask me that in a direct message here on LinkedIn or on YouTube, and I'd love to get into that as well. That's a discussion we can have. Ultimately, we try to build for our customers a full SaaS application within 1 to 2 weeks, whereas the typical cycle in the old days was anywhere from 2 to 3 years. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you get done in 6 to 12 months. AI now does 95% of the work, and so your job is to tell me on a Zoom call what you need. You use your words. I reflect back. We're going to soon have Rhea listening in on the call so that she can pipe in as well if she needs to. And then ultimately, we get your product out the door and you start making money as quick as possible on whatever software idea you've always dreamed of. We have a full team here of some of the best AI people in the world. We have data scientists. We just picked up one new person who's formerly a medical student, worked for Apple, and is now a data scientist herself. So I am confident that the team that we're building is one of the best out there, and they're just fun to work with. We're really humble, get down to work, and yeah, things are going great at Rhea, and we're excited to bring the product to market probably sometime around the end of April, and we're testing with a few customers starting on Friday this week. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great night. Thank you.